Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Norwich Talk 4. I think the first match preview, technically, this season. Now, it seems like a fantastic time to be doing one because Daniel Farke has just absolutely gone on one in a press conference. I followed via Mr. Connor Southwell's tweets. I very much recommend, if you haven't, which I'd be surprised if you've missed it by now, but if you haven't, go and check out the thread. All the quotes from Daniel Farke. Unbelievable stuff. Very, very juicy stuff. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't disagree with the majority of what he said. It's a very passionate rant. Sadly, I've only been able to read it. Hopefully, I'll be able to see it via video form as well. But it's a very interesting time to preview a match, isn't it? For that reason, as well as Norwich City are facing Watford, a team who, to most fans, myself included, are calling a must-beat team, a must-win game. Norwich need to win this game. I would like it to happen very much. If we don't, it's not the end of the season. Norwich aren't relegated, are they? Which is, I think, kind of what Daniel Farke's message actually was, which is kind of fair enough from his perspective. But it's a big game for Norwich City regardless. I know, and this was mentioned to him, or I don't know if he mentioned it or was asked, whatever, but Daniel Farke has never beaten Watford. So it's a bit of a bogey team for him. So I guess it kind of comes at a bit of a sticky time for him in terms of Norwich needing to get 3 points on the board, or at least a point, to be honest with you. But this is a game that, off the bat, I think Norwich City will win. I think it'll be an interesting one. I don't know if it'll be comfortable or not. Not that I particularly care. With the ambition this season being to stay in the Premier League, I suppose not every performance has to be glamorous. I just want to see Norwich win. I really do. And as I said, I believe we will. In this video, we're going to go over the starting lineup and a few final comments at the end. So in terms of the lineup, I'm going with Tim Krul in goal. Tim Krul's faced a little bit of criticism this season, mainly for his passing. I don't see that as a reason to drop him. I think by the end of the season, a few seem to believe that Angus Gunn will be the number one. I don't really know where I sit in this debate, to be honest with you. Tim Krul's a very good goalkeeper, so he'll continue to play for Norwich. He's one of the more experienced heads as well, isn't he? So, yeah, Tim Krul has to start for me. I'd like to see improved kicking, ideally, and I suppose the implications of better passes and smarter passes mean there's less pressure on Norwich, but for me at the moment that's not enough of a reason to drop him. Along the back line, I'm going for Max Aarons, Grant Hanley, Andrew Omobamidele and Brandon Williams. That lineup is the same, I think, as Arsenal's, the one against Arsenal, which I think you don't really need to change that. Brandon Williams was absolutely phenomenal. Max Aarons, you quite simply have to play him. I guess it's kind of more up for debate whether someone like Ozan Kabak should come into the lineup. I don't think so, because we barely lost. The phrasing of this is a bit weird, but the defence wasn't bad against Arsenal, was it? I don't think it's worth dropping Hanley or Omobamidele. I think for the goal, Hanley kind of assumed it was a handball and maybe should have just sort of, as you often say, will play to the whistle. But I think, lesson will be learned and they'll be very good against Watford. It's an unfortunate loss against Arsenal. It's not really the defence's fault. If anything, they were quite good to deal with the Arsenal pressure. So it has to be the same lineup for me. Omobamidele, goodness me, what a player. He's rightfully been getting lots and lots of praise within the media. It's this kind of, I know he's young, but kind of like a hidden gem, really, that Norwich City have uncovered. And yeah, I think we all saw there was the possibility and there was the characteristics of this player who could succeed in the Premier League. He's got all the qualities, as I say, and he's shining for Norwich and for Ireland as well. A lot of the Irish fans are now getting excited about him, which is good. I don't think it's worth dropping any of them. For who have we got? You've got Zimmerman, who's injured, obviously. Not that he'd even be anywhere near the team. You've got Kabak, who's fully fit, probably raring to go. Ben Gibson, I believe Daniel Farke said in his press conference, is back. But I don't think you fiddle around with that lineup. Now, here's something that's a bit more contentious. I sometimes doubt myself with words. I've gone for Kenny McLean, Billy Gilmore, Matthias Norman as my midfield three. Now, I promise I have checked the injury list. I think I would have had PLM instead of McLean, but Daniel Farke said he's not ready for a full 90. So whether that means he starts and comes off early or comes on during the game, I don't know. But in that case, I'm just not going to have him in the starting lineup. Now, this is a very interesting one. In terms of who's on the left, right, middle, I don't really know. It can be kind of fluid, to be honest. But the important thing is Matthias Norman is there. Now, there was kind of this conception that, or this idea that he is kind of the enforcer, the Ollie Skip. As more research is done, and someone put it down to me on Twitter, he's not really that. but he likes to tackle. He likes to put in a tackle. He's more defensively responsible. And as Daniel Farke said, in terms of the characteristics, he's a bit more creative than someone like Oliver Skipp, where I think Norwich will really thrive from that. And I think where Norwich have kind of struggled in terms of attacking is in transition, that classic football phrase. In transition, we don't really have enough bodies that are clever on the ball. Someone like Matthias Norman, from description, again, we haven't seen him play for Norwich yet, but from description, should fit that bill in terms of knowing which pass to pick, whether it's a short one, whether it's a long one, whether it's a very creative one to whoever. Hopefully that head brings a bit more sort of composure and allows Norwich to just enjoy the ball a little bit more, because again, Norwich's game is often based around possession, but it can't be this season. Norwich aren't going to dominate every game, are they? Billy Gilmour has to start for me. I'm pretty sure he's not injured. Please correct me if I'm wrong. If he is, everything I'm saying is now irrelevant. But he's fantastic. He really is. And I think with Norman next to him, maybe relieving some of that defensive pressure on him, I think we'll really see him thrive. It's kind of contentious as to whether we'll see Lucas Rupp. Daniel Farke went on a big old monologue, according to Connor, about Lucas Rupp. Lucas Rupp's a player who I like. I don't think he's a player that really kind of helps you thrive that much in the Premier League. I'm not going to argue against it if he starts, because I don't actually think he's as bad as what most people make out. But I dare sort of tread those waters. It's very hot and deep water, isn't it? Kenny McLean, absolutely fantastic. Love him to pieces. Really good on the ball. And again, it's kind of similar to Gilmour, really. With someone like Norman, the defensive responsibility is a bit more shared. And I think he'll thrive from that. The decisions he makes on the ball, 89-90% of the time, Kenny McLean, that is often the right choice. Sometimes I know he's a bit careless in possession, but most footballers, are guilty of that sometimes, aren't they? But I think as a three, that could work very well, especially against Watford at home. If we were playing Liverpool, Man City at home, maybe I would have gone a bit more different in terms of Chuck Rupp in there, maybe PLM, someone who's a bit more kind of, not defensive minded, because that's not what PLM is, but someone who'll get the dirty work done. Again, Lucas Rupp kind of fits that bill. Jakob Sorensen, I don't have a clue what the plan is for him at Norwich, to be honest with you. We praise him a lot, but I don't know where we see him this season, to be honest with you. That's my justification for the middle three. The front three, I've gone for Milot Rashica, Teemu Pukki, and Todd Cantwell. Pukki has to start. I kind of went on a bit of a monologue, really, talking about why I think by the end of the season we'll see Josh Sargent. My thoughts on that are clear. If you don't know them, go and watch them in another video. It's just a longevity thing. Teemu Pukki is, and as Daniel Farke said in his press conference, one of the best strikers we've seen at this club. He's not wrong. He's absolutely spot on. His goal-scoring record is fantastic. When you watch him play, you can just see he's a very intelligent player. It's just about chance creation, and that will come in time. Hopefully, tomorrow is a good chance for someone like Milot Rashica, someone like Todd Cantwell, to sort of really create a proper bond. That bond that Emi Buendia had with Teemu Pukki, that's going to have to be forged again with a different player, because, Buendia's not here, is he? Rashica, I'm really happy with so far. Real signs of an intelligent player. Immediately when he signed, I thought flop, but that's just my head. It's me being an idiot is what that is. But from what we've seen so far, he's looked very, very promising. Very quick, very powerful, very good. He's very brave on the ball, very good at taking players on, which is very important. And he gets himself into very dangerous positions. And when I talk about this idea of time and getting to know Teemu Pukki or whoever's playing up front a bit better, I think we'll see a lot more fruit from him in terms of making the decisions, knowing what to do. Because he has got to get to know this whole new team, this whole new system. And we are still in that window of it's okay to not do it every time, not to make the right decision every time. A little bit later in the season, when he's had a lot of time to adapt, the conversation changes. But right now, I'm excited, and I do believe he'll get into a position where he knows what to do. He knows where Teemu Pukki will be. It won't be some sort of out-swinging cross that Teemu Pukki's never going to win. It will be cut inside, maybe get to the byline, drill it across to Pukki, or maybe a through ball. We'll find out. A player who knows what to do, Todd Cantwell. He's got to start. I think if we were away to Watford, I would have been tempted to start Scholes. Against Arsenal, he looked very bright, very quick. Again, very exciting on the ball. Very young, you can tell, in terms of the decision-making sometimes. But, again, I think with Cantwell, you can enjoy possession a bit more. With Rashica and Scholes, it's very much get the ball down the line and sprint. create a chance immediately. With someone like Cantwell, he has that sort of knowledge of, okay, sometimes you've got to pass the ball back and let the team get into shape. Sometimes you have to do that. It's not very popular with fans, but sometimes you have to do it. Todd Cantwell knows when to and when not to do that. He knows when to take someone on. He knows when, for example, you look at that ball against Liverpool to Pukki, he knows when maybe you can turn around and play a safe pass. No, try the creative one instead. He seems to have that innate ability to just understand the game. And I think it'll be really good for Norwich this season. I really like Todd Cantwell. But as I said, if the game was away where you're a bit more counter-attacking, or against tougher opposition even. No disrespect to Watford, of course. Every game in the Premier League is going to be tough, but you know what I mean. Liverpool, Man City, where you're a bit more counter-attacking, you get someone like Charles involved, don't you? Because it's a bit more get the ball, break. With Cantwell, you can enjoy possession a little bit more. In terms of injuries, as I said, Zimmerman out. Poeta is still dealing with COVID. Les Malou's not fully fit. Josh Sargent is back. I think Ben Gibson, as I said earlier, is fully fit, which is interesting. It's exciting for Norwich City. It really is. But I think that's everything for this video, to be honest with you. There's not much else to say. Is it a must-win for Norwich? In my eyes, yes. In Daniel Farke's eyes, no. And I understand that. Because if Norwich City now go and lose and Daniel Farke had put all of his eggs in one basket saying it's a must-win, what do you then say to the team? Because the players will see the comments, They always say, well, not they always say, but sometimes you hear, players don't look at the comments. They do, right? They do. They're human. They look at social media. But yeah. What do you say if you lose that game after saying to the press, it's a must-win game, it's a must-win game? He's got to manage sort of reality and expectation, and fair play to him. In terms of that press conference and what I disagree with, the criticism of Pukki he spoke about, I haven't really, I scour everywhere really for comments. I haven't seen criticism of Pukki per se. Maybe he would think what I've said is criticism. It's not, it's just kind of thoughts. Really, I still love Teemu Pukki. I think everyone still loves Teemu Pukki. It's just, as Connor said this to me in our transfer deadline day special, with someone like Josh Sargent, it's just a shiny new thing that you want to use and you want to see. But it's all very exciting. I really enjoyed the Daniel Farke press conference. It was very kind of I don't know what the film's called. I'm going to get shot here. It's like the Mel Gibson only the Braveheart. I don't know. I've bottled that big time, haven't I? A big brave speech, a rallying cry, essentially is what it was. It seems to have triggered a lot of people as well. He made a comment about how sometimes Norwich fans turn a bit too quickly and get, feel sorry for themselves a bit too soon. I absolutely agree with that. I've been guilty of it myself. And some of the quote tweets that I saw from Connor's tweet kind of summed that up. But I'm not looking to pick a fight. I love Norwich City Football Club. I love the fans that come with Norwich City Football Club. It's very exciting. If we lose tomorrow, it could be a little bit more of a bitter discussion, a bitter dissection. But I do strongly believe Norwich City will win. My score prediction, 3-1 to Norwich City. I've said 3-0 a couple of times, but I'm going to go for 3-1. Don't fully trust us to keep a clean sheet yet. But I'm feeling very positive. Could be different by 5:30 tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts, your starting 11s, what you think about Daniel Farke's press conference. Please let me know what you think about that, because, there'll be people who have the polar opposite views to me, and I'd love to know why, to chat about it. We all love chatting about football, don't we? So until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon.